It's been a wild 24 hours in the Big Brother 26 house, mostly thanks to a lot of bad gameplay going on in the house, which I called at the beginning of the season that the gameplay would probably be terrible once again, and I think we can say it's pretty bad. Unfortunately, I was hoping that if we get bad gameplay, we'd get lots of fights. And while there has been some fights, most of them get cut on the feed. So that's not really a good thing, in my opinion. Alas, let's talk about what has transpired. A lot of the chaos is thanks to Tucker because he got bored. And as I discussed in yesterday's video, not the best ideas coming from Tucker for his own game, but at least he wanted to spice up the game and kind of blow up some other games in the process. So while Tucker has probably hurt his own game, which we will get to, he's definitely blown up a lot of other games along with them. He is certainly a wild card, and I do hope he does not go this week. But if he does, he did kind of do it to himself. Now, yesterday he had that plan where he wanted to use his veto on Angela instead of himself, and he wanted Cedric to put up Quinn because Quinn has the power and has only told a couple of people, but of course the game of telephone has traveled through the house now, and now more people are finding out about Quinn's power. But Cedric did consider it, but Cedric has been playing pretty scared this round, and while it seemed like he and Cam were starting to possibly go that direction and go along with Tucker's plan, they got scared and they fell back on their original alliance with the Pentagon because it is the main alliance of those two in Chelsea, and then they brought in Quinn and Brooklyn to be the main five, even though Brooklyn and Quinn know they're on the bottom of that five. And then from that is where the collective was formed with Joseph and T-Core and Chemo and even Rubina at one point. But yeah, because of that, they chickened out, told Quinn about Tucker's idea. And before we get there, last night there was also the Cam and Leah situation, which continues to make both Cam and Leah bad players, in my opinion. The one thing I will give Leah some credit for is that she wants to protect herself, which, you know, players like Kenny, Tucker, even Angela, always wanting to be on the block, are not doing. So I'll give Leah some credit there. But yesterday, Leah's motor mouth, because she likes to talk too much, got her in trouble with Cam. I talked about this yesterday. Information that Cam gave her that Cedric was considering putting either Leah or MJ on the block got back to Chelsea, so Chelsea confronted Cedric and Cam about it, which pissed off Cam. Cam said yesterday to Cedric that he might just stop talking to Leah altogether. That lasted a few hours before he talked to Leah again, and they tried to talk it out with Cedric trying to eavesdrop on them. I think Cedric is pretty fed up with the whole Cam and Leah situation as well. So it's not just Chelsea anymore that sees that Leah is a problem for Cam's game. I don't know if Cam is a good thing for Leah's game either at this point. I feel like Leah's no longer doing a good job there because she does talk too much, but it's more Cam's fault because he does continue to give her information that he probably shouldn't be giving her. From there, though, we did have today, like I said earlier, that Cedric and Cam got together with the whole Pentagon and told Quinn about Tucker's plan, and they were just going to go back on their original idea, was to just put up MJ and maybe try and get her to play her power. Now, Brooklyn really thought she convinced MJ to not use her power. I think Brooklyn's, she's good at the social game, at not being a target, but overall, do I feel like she's this master manipulator yet? Nah, I don't think she's bringing that much to the table. She did not convince MJ to not use her power. MJ's at least been playing the game pretty well since Matt went home, to me anyway. A lot of that's just kind of trying to force her way into things, but it's kind of been working. So yeah, what happened was Tucker, first of all, did not use the veto on himself. And Cedric tried to warn Tucker that he was not going to go along with Tucker's idea, but Tucker was annoyed. Tucker's been annoyed about this cookie cutter game that a lot of them are playing, which I don't blame him. There is too many players playing it safe, which is annoying. And a lot of that could be with the twist, but I think a lot of that is just the nature of Big Brother these days, where people try and play it too safe. So Tucker wanted to still blow things up, despite Cedric saying that he won't be nominating Quinn. So Tucker did blow things up by not using the veto on himself, using the veto on Angela, but then Cedric put up MJ instead of Quinn, and MJ then used her power, so America will have to vote the third nominee. Now, of course, I still want it to be Quinn. I think a lot of people that like good TV want it to be Quinn because that further blows things up. It does two things. It punishes Quinn for being such a bad player with what could have been a powerful power, but he doesn't know how to not run his mouth. Quinn's always yapping, which we'll probably get to here again with the aftermath of the veto ceremony. But the second thing it does is if America votes for Quinn, and do I think America will get it right? I never have faith in America's voting. Who could? But it commends Tucker for trying to give us a crazy big move this week, as crazy as it was, as bold as it was. Yeah, it's never good to not use the veto on yourself, but the show still. Big Brother is a very still show. We talk about this every year. It's mostly production's fault, but the gameplay is always bad every year now. Let's give Tucker some credit for trying to think outside the box here, because had Cedric gone along with it, if Quinn gets put on the block, if Cedric really does go along with the plan and tries to push the house to do this, Cedric has some ties in the house that could maybe get it done and make the big move on Quinn. But that didn't happen. But at least Tucker was trying to give us good TV. And yeah, Tucker may have shot himself in the foot and might go home this week himself. It was bad gameplay from Tucker because he took a chance, he took a risk, and sometimes you have to take risks in these games, but the risk might not have a reward. It might have quite the detriment to his game. But he didn't just screw himself. He didn't just blow up his own game. He blew up Quinn's game. Now everyone knows he has the power. It kind of renders his power mostly useless. Yeah, he can still take a shot at people next week that were against him this week, but it won't be in secret. So his game's still out in the open now. Now he just has to show cards despite having alliances with everyone. So Quinn, another one, playing a terrible game. But it also blew up Cedric's game himself. Cedric wanted to have this easy week. If Cedric was playing for his own game and not playing for other players in the house, not trying to help Cam, Chelsea, Quinn, Brooklyn, Quinn doesn't even have Cedric's back, or he did it until a few days ago, and I don't think he's going to have it that long in this game. So if Cedric was really just playing for his own game, he would have started this week trying to get out Leah or trying to get out MJ. Neither have Cedric's best interests in mind. But instead, he tried to play it safe with Angela and Kenny. And then when Tucker comes up with an idea, Cedric makes it worse. Cedric now has a big target on his back with Tucker. So now Cedric needs Tucker out this week for his own personal game because he made an enemy out of Tucker. But I think the main problem I have with Cedric's game is that because he wanted to play it safe, now he just made the game harder for himself. He's a target now. He's shown that he doesn't know how to kind of make the more logical moves for his own game, but he pigeonholed the whole alliance into a thing. For so long, the collective was kind of a joke to everyone except for Joseph. And I made fun of Joseph in yesterday's video, saying that he was delusional where the collective was concerned. But maybe Joseph actually manifested this happening. Because now the collective, at least for a couple of weeks, kind of has to be a thing. Because of Cedric kind of pigeonholing them into this predicament this week by kind of having to make them a side. And a shaky alliance, but now a lot of people in that alliance have to at least pretend to go along with it kind of hardcore for a week or two because of Cedric's decision making this week. And I think that's only good for Joseph. It makes Chelsea, Cam, and Cedric kind of out there as bigger targets because they're kind of already becoming more and more of a known three in that house. So yeah, I think Cedric played this game maybe the worst of all. Yeah, Tucker could go home this week, so pretty dumb. Yeah, Quinn should have this giant target on his back going forward the next few weeks. But if Tucker can get out of this situation the next couple of weeks, if Quinn can get out of his predicament over the next couple of weeks, they have a lot of moves they can still make. Cedric pigeonholed himself, and I don't like players that pigeonhole themselves like this. Chaining yourself to an alliance that doesn't really have your back is never good. It's really dumb. It's one of my least favorite things to see on Big Brother. So, all three are terrible right now. Cedric might be my least favorite of the bunch, though, of the three that I think played terrible this week: Tucker, Quinn, and Cedric. The aftermath even has Quinn continuing to throw Cedric, Chelsea, and Cam under the bus, despite Cam and Cedric saving him this week, or possibly. They're still at America vote. Quinn continues to rail to Joseph about the Pentagon Alliance. And I think this is just more bad gameplay from Quinn. This is what got him in trouble in the first place, running his mouth. And then Quinn has the audacity to say to the camera that he thinks his biggest mistake, was not telling everyone about his power. No, you dummy. You should have told no one about your power. That's how your power could have actually been powerful. The entire point of the power. Quinn sucks. I'm definitely sick of him too. I hope Cedric can get out of this predicament because he is likable. I don't see how Quinn is likable. Quinn's a bad player. He's the worst archetype on Big Brother, the nerd. I hope America votes for him on the block this week. He needs to have a wake-up call. If this wasn't the wake-up call that you're playing dumb and terrible and you're just yapping way too much, maybe that will be, but I doubt it. Another person that got exposed from this whole predicament was Chemo. And I'm glad that T-Ker can finally see that Chemo has not been giving her information like he should have been this entire time. Chemo knew about the power. Cedric told T-Ker that Chemo knew about the power. And even he's surprised that Chemo didn't tell her. So, yeah, Chemo, another person with egg on his face. He told Tucker just because he had a crush on Tucker. Abysmal gameplay from these people. I'm not surprised, but it does annoy me. So now T-Ker has a chance to maneuver herself into the middle of the house, really. I think T-Ker could see that Tucker going this week gets Rubina closer to her. Tucker and Rubina this week, today, I should say, discussed that if they weren't in this house, they would be an item. They do have these mutual feelings for each other. But because it would put a bigger target on both their backs, they can't go through with that showmance. Because this house is such anti-showmance, which I'm kind of grateful for, honestly. But yeah, I want to see how T-Ker maneuvers over these next couple days. A lot kind of comes down to Thursday and who America actually puts on the block. I don't have faith it would be Quinn. I don't know who it could be. I guess it will depend on Wednesday's edit. I can easily see it being either Cam or Leah. I can see how you could edit those two to be very annoying. Although I would like to think that production would be annoyed with Quinn for ruining their power, ruining what could have been an interesting twist, with now the entire house knowing about the twist, thanks to Quinn. So maybe Quinn will get a bad edit. A lot of casuals don't seem to like Joseph either. So Joseph could be a random person voted on to the block this week, despite, I think, the last couple of days helping Joseph manifest the collective to being a real group. I think that, like I said earlier, only helps Joseph. Anything else to talk about? Angela and Quinn kind of got into it again today, but of course the feed's cut, so we couldn't really see their argument. Maybe some of it will be on the episode, but whatever. I do like that America can't vote for Angela because the casuals still hate Angela from the Matt situation. I do fear that because Tucker saved Angela, the casuals that hate Angela will not want to vote for Quinn just because it helps Tucker. But I don't know. As it stands, Tucker screwed Tucker, Quinn screwed Quinn, Cedric screwed Cedric, and even Chemo screwed Chemo. Just bad gameplay from those four for sure.